Hyundai has never been here before. The Korean company's previous supermini models were likeable enough, but sold mainly on price. This i20 can take on its toughest Fiesta class rivals head to head and substitutes cutting-edge style for cutting-edge value and pricing. Economical, roomy, well-equipped, tightly built and covered by an excellent warranty, there's nothing ambiguous about this little car's appeal. Small cars are becoming ever more cosmopolitan. Take this one, Hyundai's i20. Built in India, designed and engineered in Germany, and brought to us by a Korean car company, it's a sign in more ways than one of how the motor industry is changing. This supermini sells at the budget end of the sector, but even so, offers a standard of quality quite unheard of until relatively recently. Plus, it's as good as a Ford, a Vauxhall or a Peugeot, something else you'd have got long odds on with a Hyundai a few years back. Now, as its name suggests, the i20 slots neatly in between Hyundai's i10 city car and their i30 family hatchback. Both impressive but rather forgotten cars in their respective sectors. This one deserves to do much better and is the brand's best-selling model in the UK. Motoring journalists blather on about whether this car's as good to drive on the limit as a Ford Fiesta, a complete irrelevance to most likely buyers who will appreciate this car's undemanding driving dynamics and supple ride, but otherwise simply turn up radio too. That said, I've quite enjoyed driving this car quickly, an experience aided by nicely weighted steering, a compliant gearbox and a lack of body roll. The tyres could offer up a bit more grip and the clutch is a bit light, but that's about it on the debit side. None of the engines on offer are especially fast, but all will probably be quite sufficient for their intended market. Now, the 74 brake horsepower 1.2 litre petrol unit that I'm driving here is able to launch itself to 60 from rest in 12.9 seconds on the way to a top speed of 106 miles an hour. That's about half a second quicker than the fastest of the two rather noisy 1.4 litre CRDI diesels. Now, the 1.2 litre petrol is the best-selling i20 variant in the UK, and you can understand why, given that the larger 88 brake horsepower 1.4 litre petrol model really isn't that much faster. It is worth pointing out, though, that both, particularly the petrol units, have above average in-gear acceleration. So the 1.4 litre variant, the petrol model, is 4 seconds quicker than a comparable Fiesta in the 50 to 70 mile an hour increment. And that's good to know when you're pulling out from behind that swaying articulated lorry to overtake. The feature I like most about the driving dynamics of this car, though, is something that most owners will probably never get to experience: the standard fitment of ESP stability control. Now, if you haven't experienced this before, it's a system that uses automatic brake and throttle inputs if the electronics sense that you're about to lose control, ensuring that you should never get to see the 6 airbags, front, side and curtain, that are standard, along with anti-whiplash head restraints. Now, only when you've experienced the difference that ESP can make between having and avoiding an accident will you share my conviction that car manufacturers really have no business in offering this as an extra cost option on small sub £12,000 cars. Hyundai has taken a lead here, which should be rewarded. Hyundai has played it pretty safe with the looks of this i20. From the front and rear three-quarter view, it looks fairly similar to a 5-door Vauxhall Corsa. No bad thing, I suppose. Otherwise, the shape is fairly forgettable. The interior, though, isn't what you'd expect of an 8 to 12 grand car. It's far better. There are quality materials and soft-touch surfaces that wouldn't be out of place on a car costing twice this much. It all feels pretty solid too, perhaps as you'd expect, given that this car is 60 kilograms heavier than the shorter and narrower Getz model that it replaced. With a height-adjustable driver's seat and a steering wheel that adjusts for rake, that's up and down, as well as reach, that's in and out, the i20 should be accommodating for drivers of most shapes and sizes. Space in the back will be generous enough for adults to undertake short journeys and fine for kids. The 295 litre boot is exactly the same size as a Ford Fiesta's. Fold down the 60-40 split fold rear seats and you've got a flat cargo area with space for much bigger loads. You've also got a massive glove box and various other receptacles dotted around the interior. Hyundai i20 prices lie in the £8,000 to £12,000 bracket, making it more affordable than obvious rivals like Ford's Fiesta, Vauxhall's Corsa, Peugeot's 207 or Renault's Clio. Now there's a choice of 77 or 99 brake horsepower 1.2 or 1.4 litre petrol engines, or 74 or 89 brake horsepower 1.4 litre CRDI diesels. Now let's get some perspective here. All i20 models are about £1,000 or so cheaper than an equivalent Fiesta class car. But it goes deeper than that if you compare specification for specification. An entry-level i20, for example, includes features like air conditioning, electric windows and ESP stability control that are not only not included in the Ford's tally, but in many cases aren't even available at baseline Fiesta level. Hyundai's exemplary 5-year unlimited mileage warranty package will be a major draw for buyers with their eyes on the bottom line. And it's one reason why this car should hold its value so well. Motor industry analysts and used car experts CAP reckon that after 3 years and 30,000 miles, an entry-level i20 should still be worth 47% of what you paid for it. That's 5 percentage points better than an equivalent Ford Fiesta and 12% better than comparable Vauxhall Corsa or Renault Clio models. Nor do the engines let the side down when it comes to economy and emissions. The 1.4 litre CRDI diesels return between 116 and 118 grams per kilometre of CO2 and manage 64 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle, while the 1.2 and 1.4 litre petrol engines return between 124 and 133 grams per kilometre of CO2, with the 1.2 managing 54 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle. Insurance groups range between 3 and 4. There's no doubt that Hyundai is a manufacturer on the rise, the sensible, thinking person's brand when it comes to compact cars. Though you can't help wishing that the designers had clothed their product more strikingly or given it an extra edge in driving dynamics, the car itself has no serious drawbacks. It's nicely built, it's brilliantly equipped and carefully priced. Put aside any badge prejudices, and it's hard to escape the conclusion that the Koreans really have achieved their objective to compete on equal terms with Europe's best.